When did you realize you married the wrong person? One day I realized I had become a smaller version of myself. On the wedding day. She spent a fortune on unnecessary things, and I knew I'd be the one fitting the bill on the credit card she ran up. So I told her no more. She said she wanted an ice cream vendor there, we already had 2 dessert bars, told her it was not needed. She fought me on it but finally agreed. Wedding day comes, I'm standing with my groomsmen, in comes the ice cream truck. Knew right then, sadly. It was actually almost immediately after getting married. Our relationship had taken a nosedive as soon as we moved in together. But after we got married, while we were in Greece on our honeymoon, he absolutely lost his mind on me in public. I had wanted to go see a beach on the island that is supposed to be one of the most beautiful in the world, so we tried to catch the bus, but it never came. He screamed at me, telling me he hated traveling with me and how could I ruin his vacation like this. Then we walked to the beach nearby and he went swimming with his 2 friends who he insisted come with us on the trip. I was too stunned and humiliated to do anything except sit on a beach chair and cry. Engaged, not quite married yet. When I had been on mandatory bed rest and caring for our infant son, after having emergency surgery for nearly bleeding to death after a miscarriage, and he came home from work and looked me dead in the face and said, "Why aren't the fucking dishes done?" Called my mom the next morning and told her I was leaving. Hightailed it out of there 2 weeks later. When she sat me down and with a straight face said, "I've thought about this and you're not going to exercise anymore." I was jogging a few miles a day and would usually bring kids within running stroller. She said, "You're a father and it's too time consuming." That's when I realized I made a terrible mistake, lol. Catching her with another man in my car didn't help the case to stay married. It was a death of 1,000 cuts. One of the first was when I realized she didn't trust me. We had been together around 10 years at this point. But I had a moment of clarity and literally said to her, "You don't trust me, do you?" Before she could answer I said, "You don't trust anybody." And she agreed. She would routinely throw the kids out of the tub and the bathroom completely naked because they splashed her while getting a bath. And not just that, she would yell at the top of her lungs at how bad they were. The kids were around 2 to 4 at the time. God forbid the toddler splashes the water in the tub. Another time I don't even remember the cause, but I tried to play mediator. As in, "Okay daughter, you did something wrong, let's apologize to mommy." And she would. Then I'd ask mommy to apologize to our daughter for her role, and mom absolutely refused to apologize. I've known this lady more than 20 years and I've never heard her apologize. Literally never. The final straw was when one of our kids wanted a hug good night before bedtime. She locked herself in our bedroom and refused the hug because she had hugged them earlier in the day. Kids were crying. They didn't understand. I was devastated watching this unfold. Why doesn't mom want to hug me? I try my best to not let it impact me. But we share custody now and I have to watch how she interacts without kids. It's hard. The best consolidation is the kids are getting older and they're starting to figure it out. On my wedding day. We were married at her parents' house, a beautiful place on a private country club. The entire day was all about her, and she spent more time hanging out with her friend and getting drunk than with me. I stayed busy visiting with all the guests during the day. After all the guests left and it was down to her parents and me, I find her passed out drunk upstairs in a bedroom. I picked her up and carried her to our car to take her home. Needless to say, our wedding night consisted of her sleeping it off. 5 years later she went into inpatient treatment, and after she sobered up and was released, she told me that she didn't love me and wanted a divorce. When I lost twins and he dropped me off at the hospital to get an operation to have my babies removed. He dropped me off at the hospital bleeding and went for a party with his friends. Edit, fixed typo. EDA, to those that asked, I left this man years ago. I'm doing well now. Thank you for the award, kind words, and chats. I honestly didn't expect this to get so many responses, but I did my best to respond to a lot of you. Unfortunately, this will never stop being a sore topic for me, so I cannot engage any further. Love and healing to those that have experienced this too. I hope you're in a better place now, and if you're not yet, take it from me, it takes time but you will be. When I realized if we weren't dating I wouldn't have wanted to be his friend. This post made me think of a quote by Robin Williams. I used to think the worst thing in life was to end up all alone. It's not. The worst thing in life is to end up with people that make you feel all alone. I realized that I was hiding good news from her because I knew she would make me feel bad about it. I hoped she was going to grow up and stop being selfish and childish. She never did. When he was messaging a side chick on our wedding day, and boy did it go sideways from there. When she fucked a high school flame for a year whilst hiding it and staying home on my single income. We weren't working. I knew that. I was trying to improve things, and we'd talked about it, but she somehow neglected to give me that detail. I'm not angry that she didn't love me. But fuck, just tell me. Don't do me dirty like that after 13 years. Not married but together for years. Got diagnosed with cancer and she kinda shut off. She then decided to leave several months later. At an appointment I was officially 1YR clear, which is a milestone. I realized I was alone through a lot of it. She never wanted anything to do with it. Was a revelation to myself that the relationship breakdown wasn't all because of me. Got my 3-year tests this weekend, blood tests and scans etc. Current GF is driving me and then taking me out to lunch afterwards. Hell of an upgrade. The second he decided to hit me. We were married for less than a year, and no kids, thankfully. Took 2 months, and we were divorced. What urban legend needs to die? That if you ask if someone's a cop, they have to tell you if they are a cop. Our 7th grade English teacher Miss Jackson was not in Playboy in the 1980s. It does not matter that your brother's cousin's neighbor has the actual issue and they are going to bring it into school someday. Detoxing treatments. No Sharon, harmful chemicals are not just going to ooze out of your face and feet if you use that mask. That's not how the human body works at all. Damn. That you need to wait 24 hours to report someone as missing. You can, and should, report someone as missing as soon as they go missing. It could be the difference between finding someone who had a bad fall at home or getting lost in the forest, and finding their body. You can't get STDs from oral sex. One of the clinics I work at is a free sexual health clinic. Too many women are in there for mouth/throat/other digestive problems stemming from unprotected oral sex and various STDs. That you can target fat on a particular place on your body, like tummy fat. Fat doesn't know where it lives. Edit, I am, believe it or not, aware of the existence of plastic surgery. You don't need to tell me about it. You don't eat spiders in your sleep. That some guy tried to sneak acid into a festival by taping it to his body and it absorbed through his skin and now he thinks he's a glass of orange juice or a sunflower. Blood is blue inside your body and red when it comes out. Nope. Boiling frogs. Frogs jump out of water when it gets too warm for them. That touching baby birds or rabbits will cause their mothers to reject them because they smell like human. They absolutely will not. Don't go messing with babies for kicks, but if you can put a baby, that you are 100% sure belongs there, back in its nest, do so. If you aren't sure, call a wildlife rehabilitator so you're not putting fledglings where they don't belong. That it's a felony offense to rip the tag off of your mattress. There was a major scandal in the past, where a couple mattress manufacturers were recycling used mattresses, restuffing them, and subsequently reselling them. It is only illegal for stores and manufacturers to rip the tags off of new mattresses for sale. However, once you buy it, and your mattress warranty expires, usually after 1 year or less, feel free to rip that annoying tag off. That Marilyn Manson had a rib removed to suck his own member. All the ones about human trafficking that create a totally fictionalized idea of what human trafficking actually looks like. The idea that there are people in your neighborhood just waiting for the chance to poison your kids by giving them unwrapped Halloween candy. What is a phrase someone says that is an instant red flag? Trust me, I am not like the others. Do you know who I am? People think I'm an asshole because I tell it how it is / don't hold back / speak my mind / am blunt. Sooner or later you'll realize that they're just an asshole. Just hung out with a girl last night that I thought might be a potential new friend, but she said she loves fighting with people and pissing them off. She said this in the context of another girl she was working with who was irritating her, so she was intentionally saying things to get to her. I already got slightly weird vibes from her from the start too that made me feel uncomfortable around her, but that kinda confirmed where they were coming from and made me realize I will keep a safe distance. Get in my submersible, it's safe. We are like a family here. I'm a disruptor. Alpha male. I can't be near elementary schools within 500-meter area. All my exes are crazy. While I'm sure there are some people who are very unlucky in romance, most of the time it just means the person takes no accountability for the failings of their relationships. Edit to add, people who are reliving trauma with their relationships don't often play the "all my exes are crazy" card. That phrase is generally reserved for people who hold much of the blame for their failed relationships but would rather pretend like every ex was the problem. A lot of people don't like me because I'm blunt. No, you're probably just an asshole. Either you trust me or you don't. It's a bullshit statement. All trust is not the same. There are lots of kinds and levels of trust, and trying to bootstrap from one to the other with some flimsy guilt trip is dishonest. E.g., I trust my sister to watch my kids, but I do not trust her to do my brakes. I trust my mechanic to do my brakes, but I do not trust him with my kids. Edit plot twist, my sister is my mechanic. I'm an alpha. No TF you're not. I have no filter nope you're just rude. I'm a diva nope, you're just self-centered. I never fart my ex-BF. Edit to ex-BF because many thought my ex was a woman.